by God, if I get any prettier. If it gets any hotter outside, oh my God. Hey, listen, man, I want to talk to y'all about something a little bit. I was like somebody actually suggested that we do this video just kind of get some information out there, and I have no problem doing it because I'm one of the world's worst that fails my own etiquette. So like knife loaning etiquette, you know, and I'm gonna say this about knife loaning. You know, if somebody's gracious enough to send you a knife to review on your channel or whatever, or I mean, you might not even have a channel. I send stuff to people who don't record the knives that I send to them. It don't matter, man. You know, like I'm not worried about a time frame. The only thing I'm worried about is communication. Communication will take you a long way in life, and that's not just the knife community. That's everything. Everything that you do in life is going to be revolved around communication. Communication stops, people start getting worried. So for example, after Blade Show, Dave, he come to me, man. He was like, or he sent me a message. He said, "Hey, dude, would you like to borrow the tier?" And I was like, or would you like to see anything that I got from Blade Show? And I was like, "Man, not right now, man. I'm busy." And he was like, "You don't want to see nothing?" And I was like, I mean, I'm good with taking something on, but I'm busy, you know. Like, so I knew I was busy, right? You know, I knew I was busy. But now Dave knows I'm busy. He knows that it's not going to be a weekend turnaround. So like, that was communication, right? I mean, that boils down to that communication, and we're having that communication. So, you know, I told him I'm busy, and as it happened, you know, like Dopey had handed me off 12 knives at Blade Show to do videos on, and I was very grateful for that opportunity to check out some of the knives that he had that aren't really my style as far as collectability goes, but it's cool to be able to handle that stuff because I'm curious, you know. I mean, I'm you know, like, so I want to know how it handles and how, you know, how it feels in hand, and you know how it feels for quality of build and all that stuff. Like, I know, but Dopey told me, he was like, "It's a lot of knives. I don't expect them back overnight." I was like, "Dude, I will get them done as quickly as possible." There wasn't a weekend that went by that I didn't communicate with Dopey. Now, Dopey, if you're watching this and I'm lying about that, let them know. Let them know that I'm lying about that. As far as my memory goes, and I am geriatric, even though I'm pretty, I'm one of the prettiest knife reviewers that you're going to find on YouTube, but I am getting old, you know, unfortunately. So I may have misconstrued my memory there, but I think I communicated with him every weekend. I was like, "Dude, I got this many knives left to do, you know," and I still got them back to him late. I was like, I'm gonna get these in the mail to you this weekend." I didn't make it in time. Work still hadn't slowed down. I'm still on that busy stretch, man. Now, if you loan out a knife to somebody, or if somebody loans you out a knife, or loans a knife to you, if somebody loans a knife to you, and you tell them that you only want to keep it for a few days and you're going to get them back in the mail, and then you start getting flaky, like, see, there's some things that people don't mind hanging on to for, like if I might loan my Spartan Acrobus out to somebody for a couple of days. I might not want that one gone for 6 months, you know, but there's knives out there that I've got that I wouldn't mind if they were gone for 6 months. You know, ask Scab. You know, like Scab, when he had a couple of my knives, he was like, he would communicate, and he would be like, "I'm sorry, you know, I meant to get these back in the mail." And I was like, "Scab, keep those things as long as you want to, man. Those are not daily carries for me. You know, like, you like, keep them as long as you want to. If you're not done with them, keep, you know, I'm not worried about you, and I'm not worried about Scab. Like, send Scab some knives that could keep them for a year, and I'm not going to worry about them. It's, you know, because I know he's going to communicate with me, right? And communication is that is the 90% of borrowing anything is going to be etiquette. You know, like, if knives are no different than currency. Like, if you work with somebody and they say, "Hey, man, spot me $20 to payday," payday comes around. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You just got paid too, right? you're gonna have it in the back of your head. Hey, like this guy is supposed to pay me back this $20 today, and you're gonna give him an opportunity to see if he's gonna even offer to do it, right? And if he don't, what's the chances of him getting another $20 off of you, right? You know, in the future, you know, like, so now if that same guy come up and said, hey man, can you spot me $20? I won't be able to pay it back until like 6 weeks from now. You wouldn't be looking for it until 6 weeks was the deadline. You know, like, and then, I mean, if you're like me, you probably just forget about it after 6 weeks. To be honest, you know, like now if it was a big amount of money, like you know, like I might not forget about it. I might have to write that shit down on my calendar or something, you know. But if it's a minuscule amount of money that we're talking about, you know, or it's probably on the back of my head. Like you're probably thinking about it more than I am. But just in case, you still have an obligation to fulfill your own deadline. You set the deadline. You know, you set the deadline, and it's your job when you borrow a knife to do the communicating and all that stuff. And you know, like, got a couple knives out right now with Nick. Nick was like, you know, he's like, I won't keep them long. I said, Nick, I want you to keep them long. Like, you know, I want you to keep those knives as long as you want to. You know, I'm not worried about Nick, but like, you know, like Nick he stays in communication with me. If we're not talking about the knives, we're talking about something else. And you ain't got to be like that. We ain't got to be talking about the knives every time we're talking. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to stop communication completely. Like you don't want the person that borrowed, like that loaned you those knives, to send you a message on social media, and it be completely unrelated to the knives. We've probably all loaned somebody some money, and it cost us a friendship, right? You know, like, so I have stories about people in my family that don't talk to me anymore because they owe me $40. That is no bullshit. I think it's funny because I ain't even worried about the $40. I hope they see this video and like, thank God. I'm not worried about the $40. They quit communicating with me about anything because they owe me $40. Man, no. You know, that's not really acceptable. That's not the way you want to do it. You know, that's not going to get you anywhere. You know, like, so if that's the kind of personality you got, you know, like, I owe this guy this, I can't live up to that, so I'm not going to talk to him at all. You're going to start looking flaky, and flaky is not a good way to look when you frequently borrow knives from people. So that's my take on knife loaning etiquette. You know, like when you have them, also take care of them. You get them back every once in a while. You can ask Dave. Like I've had more of his knives than I've had of anybody else's. Dopey is a close second. I tried to make sure that whenever I send those knives back, that I don't send back dirty knives that are all fingerprinted up and stuff like that. But I don't use a lot of chemicals on anybody's knives because I don't know what they're cleaning them with. When you get to a certain level in the knife collecting and stuff, everybody likes to use their own shit. So it would take them like 5 seconds to clean it off of what they want to clean it off with. I'll wipe it off. But if I've ever sent you back a dirty knife, comments down there. If I ever send you back a knife that is horrible and it's unacceptable, which I've been offered, you know, loaner knives from the same people that I've been borrowing knives from forever, and I borrow a lot of knives, y'all. You know, I do. And I'm proud that I have a community of people that trust me with their knives. So the last thing I want to do is screw that up, right? So I try to make sure that everything's kosher when I send those knives back. But yeah, I had a viewer just ask me, like, you know, do you ever have a problem when you're borrowing knives? Do people you know, are they you know, when you send them back, do they complain about them being dirty or whatever? Like, no, because I don't hard use a knife unless somebody sends me something to be like, hey man, carry this for a few weeks, see how you like it. That's the only time I'm gonna start cutting up some serious stuff, and it's really not gonna be that serious. I'm just gonna use it for work. But that'd be the only time that we start getting into that territory. I won't. If somebody sends me a knife to check out, it's on the tabletop. It comes out of the case. It goes back in the case. I try to wipe it down. You know, this reminds me. I got one of Rusty's knives. I don't even know how long I've had it. A tactile. Rusty, I gotta get you a knife back. I don't know if I've communicated with you, so I gotta make sure I do that, right? You know, like, because I definitely don't want to screw up a relationship with Rusty. So anyway, but stay in communication with your people. Your people taking care of you. You taking care of your people. Works both ways. It's back and forth stuff. Do the right thing, man. You know, like do the right thing, and you know it comes back to you. I promise you that, man. Like, you know, it's you can't swindle your way through really any tight knit community. You know, like it's just not gonna happen, man. Especially when you start sending people off. I'm like, when people start sending you knives, you're the recipient. They got your address. They got your address. They can send you anything. They call up Grubhub, send you a knuckle sandwich. And y'all have a good one. Catch you on the flip side.